just talking about these chances, we didn't really talk about any chances in the first half. And again, going back to Callum McFarlane, the caretaker manager, he's made the changes. He's stiffened it up in the middle so they can compete in the middle of the park. And he's given Chelsea a backbone that they can go and compete in the game. And that's exactly what they've done. And really, if you look at the clear-cut chances in that second half, I know it would have been quite harsh on Manchester City, but Chelsea could have won that game.
I just wonder what the potential incoming Chelsea manager would be thinking, looking at what had happened over at the Etihad. As we know at the moment, again, pending formal confirmation from the club, Liam Rosenior is the key candidate here. And Trev, you know him personally. Why him? And is he a good candidate to take Chelsea forward?
Well, where do I start? I mean, we could spend hours on this as well. Me and Scott were talking before the show. I was in Strasbourg the end of last season, went for a game, watched a bit of training, was in some meetings with Liam and the squad. And you can tell the culture that he has created at that football club was outstanding. It was a learning environment. I think it was the youngest starting 11 in the top 5 European leagues. So he's got great history of working with young players. He's got a real way that he demands things off the players, but also it's a nurturing environment, and he's got that off to a T. So coming into a young Chelsea squad, I think that will suit him. Obviously, BlueCo own both football clubs, Strasbourg and Chelsea, so it would be they know him really well. I think he speaks well in the media, he comes across well. But for me, he's a class coach. He's a class coach, and he plays on the edge a little bit. He's got real excellent principles, how he likes to play the game. And I'm sure he'll be excited, especially looking at that interview that we just watched of Enzo Fernandez and Reece James. He talks about fight, he talks about unity, he talks about players that are not even in the squad, the matchday squad, travelling with the team 3 hours, 4 hours up the motorway, or flying 1 hour in a private jet, which is what they do now, not like our days, Scott. But flying up and supporting the manager, the staff, and getting behind everyone and showing that they've got that unity. So whether it's Liam, whether it's another manager, but if it is Liam, I think that's the thing that will excite them the most, that everyone's sticking together, that they've got lots of fight, and that they're ready to stick together and see if they can produce another great season like they did last year.
Do you think then, Scott, I mean, is he the best candidate to take over this? Was he offering more than, say, what Enzo Maresca is offering? Because this is a big step up from Liga, isn't it? I mean, the tough task is he has to now manage this dressing room. Yes, they are young players, but these are young players who's established, who's got a bit of stardom about them as well. It's a completely different dressing room feeling, and for a big club like Chelsea Football Club as well.
Yeah, both Trev and I know Liam. I worked with Liam on English TV for 3 or 4 years. First and foremost, he's a great human being. That doesn't necessarily matter as a manager. But do you know what? He was a great pundit as well. He's an excellent coach. He's emotionally intelligent. So his communication and his man management is and will be absolutely excellent. He's young enough to get into the players' minds and speak their language, as it were, to understand how to get the best out of them on an individual and a collective basis. He's an excellent coach. He knows both with and without the ball and where the ball is on the pitch, exactly where he wants his players to be. He is a fantastic coach, Michelle. He really is. He's a Chelsea manager. My worry is he a Chelsea manager now? Has he got enough behind him? Because you're absolutely spot on. It's one thing to do really well at Strasbourg, and he is doing well. But it's another thing to be jumping up to what is now one of the biggest clubs in the world, with the pressure that brings. And my worry is as well, is that the fans won't see him as their kind of sexy manager. This is who we want, big name. And therefore, unless he hits the ground running, then there might be problems. So I hope the owners, if they do appoint him, support him, say this is going to be our manager for a long time. But they've said that before. They gave Graham Potter a 5-year contract. We know what happened there. You showed the graphic earlier of how many managers, permanent or otherwise, Chelsea have had in the short time that these owners have been in charge. It's almost, as much as I love the club, it's almost a bit like the players. You get them in young, it's going to be a short amount of time, and then they go off and go on elsewhere. That's what's happened to Mauricio Pochettino. That's what's happened to Enzo Maresca. Frank Lampard may well be coming back at a given time in the future for a third go at it. I wish him all the very best. As I say, he's a fantastic guy, a great coach. I hope the supporters give him the support that he needs, because he will need it. You're right, it's a massive jump.
But will he be given more control? Will he be given control in comparison to maybe what Sooka had, what Enzo Maresca had, Trev?
$1 million question, that, Michelle. You know, we don't know this now. We're not in the meeting rooms, but all I would say is he already works for BlueCo. So I'm sure their business model is very similar at Strasbourg as it is at Chelsea. They're obviously comfortable and happy with the work that he's done. He signed a new contract not too long ago. He's obviously got them into European football. They're sitting really pretty in the Europa Conference League, second in that league, seventh in Liga. So he's doing everything. He's targets. He's reaching his targets. He's doing really well. And for me, because they know it, I mean, I look at, you know, I follow some of the social media for Strasbourg, and the players seem really happy. You know, there's a real fun element about it. But when it's on the pitch and when it's training, it's work time. And I think he's got, Scott said it earlier, he's young enough to talk their language, to feel what they feel. And I just feel he's got that balance right at Strasbourg. If he can get that balance right between work, fun, togetherness, and get that and build the same kind of culture that he's got at Strasbourg at Chelsea, I think we could be in for something special.
Quick question. I'm going to ask this to both of you. Are you guys fans of this structure, this system, this hierarchy that's happening at BlueCo, Trev?
As a coach and someone who likes to be on the grass with the players every day, train the players every day, get to know them, and pick a team that deserve to be picked, the starting 11 that deserve to be picked on a Saturday, and possibly even a little bit on recruitment. If that's not being afforded to the managers that are working for BlueCo, then no. But we don't know that. I mean, there's rumours. There's, you look at the quotes that Enzo came out with before he resigned, and it seems like that might not be the case. I don't know, because I've never worked for them. But if that is the case, that you're not being able to pick your team, you're not being able to pick players that come to the football club, then it wouldn't be something that I would want to do. Liam already works in that organisation, so he's obviously comfortable with that situation. And if he can be as successful for what Strasbourg were aiming for as for what Chelsea are aiming for, then he's on to a winner, because he's got a fantastic squad of players, as we've seen. They've got a great team spirit. They can compete away at, one of the best teams domestically over the last 10 years under Pep Guardiola at the Etihad. If he can compete like that with that team wherever he goes, I think he's got a great chance of success.